Hello everybody and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance for the Week. This is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. We've given you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we got a pretty good lineup for you guys. I think we have 5 first appearances, 1 honorable mention, so 6 titles on all to go through. Definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week, ending December 5th, 2025. First up from DC Comics, Batman number 4. This features the first appearance of the Minotaur. Now, I often remind you guys about this. DC doesn't really have the same cinematic power that Marvel Disney has. Marvel Disney can bring a lot of their new characters from the comics onto the screen pretty quickly, get a lot more fan interest and collector interest in those characters, and send collectors racing back to the secondary market to find those first appearances. DC doesn't have that same ability. They don't really have the same cinematic power. So a lot of their first appearances, the popularity of those characters really relies on good storytelling and word of mouth. So this issue here has the first appearance of the Minotaur, this new character. So it really depends on how well this character is received with fans and collectors as to how much they're going to be talking about it, spreading the word of this new character. At this point, we really don't know how important this character is to the overall DC universe or to the overall Batman universe alone, but this character is being introduced into the Batman standalone series. This here is one of the tentpole series for DC Comics, so if they're going to bring a new character into the Batman universe, either the Batman standalone title series or the Detective Comics title series, those are the 2 series you want to focus on when they do introduce new characters into the Batman universe. This character here, like I said, is being brought into the Batman standalone title series, so it definitely gives this character here a little bit more clout. Maybe DC is planning something bigger with this character. So this one here, in my opinion, definitely worth picking up. It's going to be a little more speculative, like I mentioned, but for $3 or $4, in my opinion, any character introduced in the Batman universe, probably worth a spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. Next up from Marvel Comics, Doctor Strange number 1. This features the first team appearance of the Royal Family of Heaven. This also features the first appearance of Rybodin, a dark elvish sorcerer. Now, the Doctor Strange title series, this is definitely not one of Marvel's stronger, more heavily collected title series, but they are introducing a new team in here and the first appearance of a new character. So this one here does have 2 first appearances, and Doctor Strange is still part of the Marvel Universe overall, so if they are introducing 2 new characters into this title, probably still worth picking up. We always recommend picking up the first appearance in Marvel titles. Like I just mentioned a moment ago, Marvel Disney have incredible cinematic power to bring a lot of these new characters to the screen, whether through a TV show, streaming series, or feature film, and you definitely don't want to miss out on these for a few bucks. If they bring these characters to the screen, collectors are definitely going to race back to the comics to try to find these first appearances. Given the fact that this here issue has 2 first appearances, probably worth picking it up. Go ahead and grab this here for your collection. Next up from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man Noir number 3. This features the first appearance of Plasma Man. Now, like I always tell you guys, always worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Spider-Man titles. Spider-Man, the most heavily collected and most popular franchise for Marvel Comics, and this Spider-Man Noir series, this has been incredibly popular with fans. This here is volume 3 of this series. Each volume has done very well. Fans and collectors love this series. So this one here does feature the first appearance of this new Plasma Man. Now, at this point, we don't really know much about this character, or this character's impact on the Spider-Man universe, or the overall Marvel universe. But like I always tell you guys, in my opinion, it's always worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in these Spider-Man titles. And like I said, the Spider-Man Noir series, incredibly popular with fans and collectors. This one here is one we do think you should pick up for your collection. Go ahead and grab this one. Next up from Marvel Comics, Ultimate Universe 2 Years In number 1. This features the introduction of the Ultimate Daredevil. This is most likely not Matt Murdock in this particular universe. Now, the Ultimate Universe has been incredibly popular with fans and collectors. I mention this every time there's an Ultimate title in the lineup. A lot of these premiere issues and issues containing first appearances trade for huge premiums on the secondary market. So this one here, in my opinion, is a no-brainer, definitely worth picking up. This one here does have the first appearance of this new Ultimate Daredevil. And like I said, this will likely not be Matt Murdock in this particular universe. So in my opinion, definitely worth picking up. Go ahead and grab this one. And finally from Marvel Comics, Wiccan Witcher's Road number 1. This features the first appearance of a new villain. This here is going to be a 5-issue limited series. Now this here is a premiere issue of this new Wiccan Witcher's Road title series, and they are introducing a new character into this series, but I can't imagine this series is going to be that heavily collected. But if they do introduce this new villain into the series, and since this is part of the Marvel Universe, if they bring this new villain onto the screen, get a lot more fan collector interest in this particular character, then this is one a lot of people aren't going to own. Like I said, I don't think this is going to be heavily collected when it comes out, so there's not going to be a lot of them out there if this character does go big. Right now, we don't really have much more information about this new villain. if this new villain becomes part of the overall Marvel Universe and has a bigger impact across other story titles or other story arcs, then this here is definitely one you want to have in your collection. I always say it's worth picking up the first appearance of new characters in Marvel titles, because for $3 or $4, this character goes big, you're going to be sitting on a huge winner here. If it goes nowhere, you're out a few dollars. And like I said, this one here I think is going to be under-collected, so if this character does become important, this one here has a chance to just blow up. So in my opinion, definitely worth picking up, if only for respect. Grab this here if you can. And now for the honorable mention. From Marvel Comics, Venom number 252. This features the origin of the all-newer Venom, the character seen on the cover. Now, like I always mention, the origin stories aren't necessarily as heavily collected as they used to be. Most collectors now go after the first appearance of new characters, but origin stories are still important to the characters, especially if the characters become fan favorites, and this here is the origin of the all-newer Venom. Venom, incredibly popular character, huge fan base, huge collector base. So in my opinion, the origin of this character is probably worth owning. For $3 or $4, definitely worth the spec. Grab this here for a spec if you can. So there you have the 6 titles that we have for you guys this week. There's definitely some books in there you guys should pick up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. As always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.